Hi, I'm Rod Saunders from Jew and Greek, and this is Musical Monday. Today I want to talk to you a bit about great instrumentalists who are known for their singing. See, it's an unknown thing about the music industry that they a lot of times will emphasize the singing ability of an artist and downplay their instrumental abilities because the money is in singing. And they go where the money is. After all, it is the music business. So you got to give the customer what they're looking for, right? So back in the 50s, there was a guy, and the 60s, there was a guy named Nat King Cole who had a series of hits, songs like Unforgettable, Mona Lisa, and Ramblin' Rose. But Nat King Cole actually started off playing jazz keyboard in nightclubs. And he was a great jazz keyboard guy. Oscar Peterson used to go and listen to him play. He was good. But people heard him sing, and they said, you know, Nat, you're never going to get rich playing the piano, but you could get rich as a singer. Why don't you just sing ballads? Because the songs that they were singing in these clubs, you know, they were R&B tunes, they were jazz tunes, they were up-tempo tunes. But Nat King Cole became famous for singing ballads. He was the first black artist to cross over and make it as a pop artist instead of R&B or jazz or gospel, some other musical genre. And he was the first black man to host an American TV show. So he was a real groundbreaker in that sense. But it's just a shame that people didn't get to see more of his keyboard playing because he was great. I'm going to show you a little clip of it right here. So that's Nat King Cole. Now let's talk about Jerry Reid. Jerry Reid, if you don't remember him, he had a series of hits of these kind of quirky country crossover tunes like Coco Joe and Amos Moses, and his biggest hit was When You're Hot, You're Hot. And later on he became an actor. He was a pretty good actor too. But a lot of people don't realize what a great fingerstyle guitarist Jerry Reid was. He actually, in his earlier days, he pursued a career as a songwriter, and he did session work as a guitarist, actually recorded on some Elvis tunes. And Elvis recorded one of his songs called A Thing Called Love. So he did a lot behind the scenes that people aren't aware of. Now, as a fingerstyle guitarist, I can tell you that three of the most influential fingerstyle guitarists were Merle Travis, who created the Travis style picking, and Chet Atkins, of course, and Jerry Reid. He was one of the top three fingerstyle guys that got people interested in playing fingerstyle guitar. He was phenomenal. But you didn't get to see him showcase his ability as a guitarist very often because, again, the industry wanted you to hear him sing. They wanted him to do those songs that he was famous for. He was not famous for his guitar playing. And then there's Glen Campbell. Now, Glen Campbell had some hits like Wichita Lineman, and By the Time I Get to Phoenix. He did a little acting, too. He was in True Grit with John Wayne. And he hosted his own variety show for a while. In the earlier days, though, Glen Campbell hardly ever featured his guitar playing. They always wanted him to just take the stage and sing to people. But he actually made a name for himself in the music industry as part of the Wrecking Crew. The Wrecking Crew was a group of guys out in L.A. that did session work, studio session work. You didn't see them that much, but you would hear them on a lot of the hit songs. The Beach Boys used the Wrecking Crew, and a lot of the early Beach Boys stuff, you'll hear Glen Campbell's guitar play. But the money, again, was in singing. And so he kind of downplayed, or the industry had him downplay his guitar skills and feature his singing skills until he was so famous that he could do whatever he wanted to do. And then every once in a while, he would take the stage and show everybody just what a great guitar player he was. And then there was Karen Carpenter. Now, she started off as the drummer for the Richard Carpenter Trio. It was a jazz ensemble out in L.A. Back in the 60s. And they didn't do a lot of vocals. And when they did vocals, they were up-tempo tunes like Dancing in the Streets. Now, Karen was a great drummer. She took her drumming very seriously. But somebody heard her singing one day and they went, whoa, that voice is just money in the bank. You need to get away from this jazz stuff and you guys need to start doing ballads. You need to start doing pop tunes. So that's what they did. They did Close to You and they did We've Only Just Begun. And they had a string of hits as pop artists that made them millions of dollars and made them world famous. But you didn't get to see Karen display her drumming talents because, early on, she would sing and play the drums at the same time. But somebody said, Karen, you really need to get out from behind those drums. And you need to go out on stage and hold a microphone and make eye contact with the crowd because people are here to hear you sing, not to watch you play the drums. And she was a bit hesitant about that at first, but eventually she got used to the idea of being a singer instead of a drummer who sings. And the last person I want to talk about is Alison Krauss. Now, this is an amazing story. Most people know that Alison Krauss plays some fiddle along with her singing, but they don't realize what a phenomenal fiddler she is. She is in the top 1% in the world. But the industry didn't want to feature her fiddling. They want to present her to you as a singer. Because that's where the money is, right? Nobody makes millions of dollars as a fiddler, but Alison Krauss has made millions of dollars as a singer who plays a little fiddle. Back in 1984, I drove up to Winfield, Kansas for the annual Walnut Valley Music Festival. It's just a 2-hour drive from where I live in Tulsa, and I've been there several times. They have competitions on guitar for fingerstyle guitar and flat picking on the guitar. They have a mandolin competition and a banjo competition and a fiddle competition. And so I like to just kind of wander around and listen to a lot of the different competitions because they've got great musicians there. And that year I went to the fiddle competition and I heard the fiddlers and then I saw them award the trophies to the first, second, and third place winners. And the first place winner that year was a girl. And I thought, well, that's cool. A girl won it. Because most of the time, over 90% of the time, it's a guy who wins. But that year, a girl won it. And that kind of stuck in my mind. That's nice. A girl won it. Didn't think anything more about it for another 20 years or so. And I saw Alison Krauss and Union Station on TV. And I thought, man, these guys are great. Who are they? And I started reading about them. And this is about the time that the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou came out. And Union Station did the music for that movie. They did the song Man of Constant Sorrow, which was a big hit for them. And so they were getting a lot of attention on television and in the music industry. So I'm reading this story about Alison Krauss, and it said, she's known for her singing, but she's actually a very accomplished fiddler. And the article said she won the Walnut Valley Fiddle Competition in 1984. And I read that and I thought, 84? I remember seeing a girl win that competition, but she didn't look like Alison Krauss. So I thought, maybe it was some other girl that won that year. So I got on on their website, and I went through their archives to see if any girls won in 82, 83, or 85, or 86. Nope, it was all guys. The only year that a girl won it was 84, Alison Krauss. So I said, well, that must have been Alison Krauss that I saw then. But she sure didn't look like Alison Krauss. She was just this chubby-faced brunette girl, looked like a tomboy. The Alison Krauss that we all know, she's this platinum, blonde, gorgeous country music star. So then I went to Google Images and I started looking through old photos of Alison Krauss. And there she is. That's the girl that I saw win that competition. She's had a complete makeover. See, because the industry didn't want to present her as this tomboy from rural Illinois. They want to present her as this country music star, right? So there's a lot of imaging going on here, image making going on by the industry. But Alison Krauss, in the early days, she was a fiddler who did a little singing at these bluegrass festivals. Somebody heard her sing and they said, Allison, you're a great fiddler, but if you just emphasize your singing a little more and you're fiddling a little less, you could make millions of dollars. And she did. I don't think any of these artists lost any sleep because they didn't get to feature their musicianship on the piano or the guitar or the fiddle or the drums. I don't think any of them lost any sleep over that. But me, as a musician, I think it's a shame sometimes that people don't get to see these artists showcase all of their musical ability, because that's the direction the industry wants them to go. They are commodities that are being marketed. And that's just one aspect of the music industry that a lot of people are not aware of. If it sells, they'll do it. If it makes them money, they'll do it. But if the money is somewhere else, then you're going to be pushed in that direction. That's just the way that it is. But check out some of these old videos of these artists that I've mentioned. There are many more I could bring into it, but those are just the ones that come to mind off the top of my head. Nat King Cole, Jerry Reid, Glenn Campbell, Karen Carpenter, and Alison Krauss. All amazing musicians who are known for their singing. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week in the next Musical Monday. God bless.